I usually look forward to these chats because for me, they bring to life something that I have longed for the longest time, creating happy and lasting relationships and marriages. Yeah, it's one of the core thing that that brought me to the scene, that brought me to this industry, that even when I do all the other things, for me marriage is home, that I will always come back, because that is where we belong. That is where happiness should reside before we can take it everywhere else. So welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we are glad to have you on this journey. We love getting your questions. We love getting your additional information about what we are talking about. And we love it when you spread it, when you share it with the world out there. It's amazing because it helps so many people.
Exactly. Yesterday I met a gentleman who gave me a very firm handshake.
Mm-hmm.
And said, "Thank you so much for taking care of this woman. She looks good." Now we did Hey, now we
let me pull my dress.
But and then it was like he said, I'm married to a very beautiful woman. Women are expensive, but so when I say something good, I know that you've done well. So to the men out there,
so he should give you a firm handshake. Bring your hands again.
To the men out there that that are doing the same kudos. Yeah, we can tell a lot by just the way your woman looks.
Yeah, that's true. A frustrated woman.
There was a time I had this chat with a friend. I said, "Man, you look so good, but what's happening?" Chichi, mukazi chichi. For me, I mean, it's not a hard one to ask, mostly if you're really my friend. And by that I mean that I can have honest conversations with you. When you go to a party, you go to a wedding, and the guy is slick,
sparkling.
Akaviri keko, blichimu chona. You look at the woman.
Hey.
They're not walking
together.
She's following from behind. So I put him aside and I said, "What's up?" Agaman biwanvu byandi yimpaye.
To be one,
yeah. So I appreciate the men who
take care of their women.
Who do. And I disagree with anyone who says you have to have deep pockets. No.
It's the care, it's the support.
It's being
the
there,
love.
being available, being
emotionally,
and at times I've gone with my wife expecting it's gonna be very expensive, but you're like, I didn't think, and the looks, and when everything is done and you're like a bill kuno simanyi, but then she's like, it's 100,000, and I'm like, wow. And that's amazing. So I'm encouraging the men out there, be involved.
Yeah, so that means you took the first
marriage
step.
Is a journey that can only be walked by two people. It ceases to be a journey if you're walking alone.
Yeah.
And so I encourage you, enjoy life. But man, we have very few years here. I'm in my upper 40s. There are certain things I can never do ever again. And there are certain things, whether you like it or not, I will not be able to do in my 60s and my 70s.
Yeah,
so I wait until I'm in my 60s and 70s.
I know.
To regret, Nedda. I have my regrets from my 20s. I will not have regrets in my 60s. I want to live life. So if it's to go for a holiday, I'll go for a holiday.
Yeah.
If it's to have that nice meal, I'll have that nice
meal. If
they
meet us in a bikini,
if it's to drive a car that I want, I will drive it.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's to sleep in a house that I want, I will.
Yeah. I think it's a decision you make. And we're so glad, just like we said, that we are on this journey together. I think this ties in perfectly with what we are going to talk about. Working as a team, or being a team, or marriage being a teamwork. Just like you said, you cannot move alone, you cannot flourish alone or thrive alone. That if you try to thrive alone, we will all have question marks. what is happening to the other person. And so this is a partnership, it's a collaboration. But when I was telling you that I had crazy thoughts, is I went back to the beginning of most relationships. Most relationships begin with adrenaline and chemicals being pumped into the blood. You look at another person, you look at their curves, you look at their body, or you look at whatever it is, their money or whatever it is,
and you are
and you are attracted. Now that is the first thing, because you're like literally hens or goats. In that moment you're not even thinking. And most people don't know that you have to now settle down into a moment where it has to be a teamwork. This has to be a dance side by side. This has to be shared visions. This has to be walking side by side. It has to be a sober choice that you make. It's not about just fantasizing when you are going to sleep with that person, fantasizing how you are going to kiss that person, when you're going to meet that person. Now it comes to a place where you choose to say, this is going to be a teamwork. Most people do not get that. Most people end in the honeymoon phase, where they're tumbling upon each other because of the chemicals. And when the chemicals settle, they think love has gone away. So it starts being like a battle of, can I breathe? Can you breathe? Everyone wants a portion of themselves. It's like we had an acre, but now that the chemicals have come down, please, can I have half or 3/3 of this acre so that you can remain with your quota? And so the fights begin.
Yep.
And the fights, some of them are not verbal. Yeah. Some of them are internal. And the negotiations begin. And the negotiations are not on a round table. The negotiations are individual. Can I stay with this? Can I uphold this? Can I commit to this? Will I stay with this for the rest of my life? So it's from that background, I think we chose to talk about teamwork and what that looks like in a marriage.
Exactly. Compromise.
Yep.
Being able to understand your partner.
Sacrifice.
And does not end with just understanding your partner, but being there for them.
Yes.
I think what you said is very true. Because think about it. When emotions kick in, you're not logical at that point to think of the things that really matter. Actually, if you try to be logical and emotional at the same time, you confuse yourself. Exactly. So it's okay to fall in love. It's okay
when
the adrenaline and when you are flawed, when you know you are
head over heels
and you know
fantasizing.
Exactly. It's like a moment that you should enjoy. Really, really enjoy. Actually, reason as to why in most of the marital counseling sessions bateranga okubulirira abafumbo titemwangu okuzaala is because bwe mwangu okuzaala realities start kicking in very fast, and when they start kicking in very fast, most cases the responsibilities that come with that may not leave the marriage to last even a year. And others said if a marriage has lasted 2 years, then it has overcome the set time limit of what is needed for a marriage to be tested. And you know, all of that shows you one thing, that when you settle in, then what happens is build a family together. So there is sharing of a vision. Yeah. There is
sharing responsibilities,
commitments. You have to commit. You have to be there. You have to let go of some friends, let go of some habits, let go of certain things. Because when I meet you, or when I met you, I came with everything from my past. And some of the things that I came with from my past, probably you were not able to and ready to endure or take. So it means I had to cut off certain things. Yes. Now, cutting off those things is also a process. It's not an easy one.
It's what makes you a teamwork.
It is teamwork. It is a relationship where you go through each other and each other's things to get to an agreeable position. Where you're like, this is what I want.
This fits,
and
this doesn't.
This doesn't. You have friends who are only girls, and it makes me uneasy. Not that I don't trust you, but it is a bit strange. Okay, and I'm more comfortable, can we talk about it? Now, at that point, you
Open
don't have to say, this is
communication.
who I am.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me that way.
That's how I was
You're
brought up.
disrespecting me. You are mistrusting me. You are insecure. Those are not the conversations to be had at that point. Okay? Either way, you know, the things that we come with, we carry ourselves, we carry into a marriage, into a relationship. We come with all these things. I will tell you for a fact, Hilda, the Batubuli, when they are preparing us to get into marriage, is complete. Okay, it's good. But the reality
Totally
in the marriage is
different.
totally different. Totally different. You can have a master's degree in what you have learned
premarital counseling.
but it may not apply when you get into the marriage. So when you get into the marriage, be present and intentionally start to walk the journey with your partner. Because then what happens is the adjustments and compromise and learning and the evolving and so many of those things are the ones that help you to become a team.
Become a team, a partnership.
Yes.
And a partnership has to, like, you get to an agreed position, just like you said.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to that agreed position, you know that in partnerships, there are things that you will agree about, but there are things that you will not agree about, that if someone is really an adult or mature, can be able to know that this is not going to foster teamwork. This is going to kill the teamwork.
Yeah.
So let me leave it because this is more important. So if your marriage is not a priority, that means teamwork is impossible. Or being a
Absolutely.
partner to
Absolutely.
your partner
Yeah.
is actually impossible because then you feel there's something more important.
Than
That
this.
means you cannot cut off certain things in order to make sure that this thrives or it grows. That means you will come holding on to the things that you talked about from the past, you know, your boss being a priority, your family where you come from being a priority, or the individuality. There are people who come with a lot of, they have been scared, and maybe they have gone through 1 or 2 or 3 relationships that have broken up, and now their shields and guards are so high. Now the adrenaline and the chemical managed to put down the wall so that they can see the curves, or they can see the person, or they can be attracted. But as long as the attraction has already taken root, most of them go back to putting their guards up.
Absolutely.
Because then now they're like, now I don't know whether this is going to last, or this was a short-lived thing. So that is where most people actually get scared, and they are not able to abandon whatever they were abandoning. Just like you said, if you say, this is how I was brought up, I'm not responsible for anything in this house. You're a woman. You're supposed to do this and this and this and this. For you came with a full list. And she's saying, no, it's not going to be like that.
Exactly.
And sometimes she might not even say it. So do you see that becoming a teamwork sometimes requires maturity for you to read into me about the things that I'm not going to say? And yes, you're not a mind reader, but sometimes you should be intelligent enough to know
Or discern.
This is uncomfortable. It's possible that, yes, where I come from, I expect her to take all this load, but I don't think this load is actually going to be possible for her to carry.
Exactly.
Or if I need certain things from her and I've left all this load, that means we are going to miss out on what would have made us happy, because strict rules and the load that I am loading her. So you're like, okay, what are our responsibilities?
Exactly.
now?
For the longest time, I only had meals outside. Why? Because I was single for quite some time. So I longed for a day I'll have a meal at home. And surprisingly, my wife was the opposite. She preferred a meal outside more than home. Do you see that?
I know.
And then the moment I found that out, I had to sit down with you and we had to strike a compromise.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about a relationship or teamwork, that I like homemade food.
Yeah. And I'm like, I will make it.
And for a fact, the last 12 months, I celebrate having a meal every day. This is a celebration at home. At least I've had a meal every day at home.
A warm, fresh meal.
Yes, at home, made by my wife. And that's something to celebrate. Now, I know that there are so many men who are saying, guys, just be real.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
I'm being real here.
Yeah.
You know. Now I'll tell you, it's something that I wanted to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I loved. But then I had to negotiate it with my partner, and that's teamwork.
Yeah.
In a
That's
partnership,
collaboration.
there's a give and a take. Okay. I agree to make some sacrifices to make my partner happy.
Yes.
And my partner agrees to
make-
do the same.
Yes.
And that's what makes a partnership strong. Where a partnership is individualistic and selfish
Or
to
one-sided.
satisfy one side, trust me, it will not work.
Yeah. The system will break down.
Okay? Now, having a conversation with a woman or with my wife about a meal does not make me less of a man. Number two, okay, it does not make my wife a maid. Because I've had couples who will tell you, I'm not a maid to cook for you every day. And that's a woman saying that. Trust me, there are certain things that are God-given. One of them, a woman is a natural. A woman is the best manager of her home, the best administrator who takes care of her home. Now, when is a woman happy? When her man is smiling, I would assume
Yes, it
so.
is. Yes.
Now, when do you assume you're happy? When your man's nose
Is in the mouth.
is in the mouth.
The mouth is in the nose.
And number two, every time he signs out of his workplace, he must find a place
To go and
hang out so that he can sneak back into his home. Okay? And the question is, how did you guys lie to that space? How did you end
How
up
did
there?
you get there?
It's because one of you was very, very selfish, not to listen to the other. You did not have the understanding that these negotiations are daily.
Yeah.
And they happen.
Every day.
And these negotiations do not make one side weak. They actually make you stronger if you can give your spouse, your partner, an ear. No only this are. Because what they are trying to tell you is saving you. Period. It's saving the marriage.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's saving the future of your children. Period. Everything that they are trying to speak back, or they're trying to why they're drawing your attention is to save something nice and good. So it does not hurt for you to listen. And then number two, where necessary, it does not hurt to make
compromises or sacrifices. Yeah. Don't say ngawe bagamba jibaziregera sijezivuga. This is how I was brought up. Yes, this is how you were brought up.
So what?
Can you be flexible?
So what if that's how you were brought up?
I know. Can you be flexible?
Exactly.
Can you have an honest, non-judgmental, a safe space where someone can trust? Because if they can't trust you to speak their minds, where are they going to speak their minds?
Exactly.
That means they feel like you have to bottle up everything.
Nope.
You're opening
up a door that will be very hard to close. Because now, if you can't handle it as you, and you've not allowed God to be at the center of it, then what happens is there is always a neighbor willing to listen.
Yeah.
But that neighbor has his own problems, has his own issues, and would want to take advantage, use that as an opportunity to bring you down. So why allow a loophole as huge as that to be opened? Why would you love to have that? Listen. So when do people work together, and when do partnerships work? When there is collaboration, when there is working together, when there is listening to each other, when there is mutual respect.
Yeah.
And as I said, all the men who are listening, to listen to a woman does not make you less of a man. It actually makes you a very strong man if you can be able to listen. I remember this while growing up. One of the things that I learned from my old man was he listened. And at times you would think, why he's not listening? Because he would listen. My mom would talk. That one was for sure. You know my mother. She would talk, and my dad would be listening. And would keep quiet like, no laws, what have you taken? What have you would
she talk about 5 topics at the same time?
and without a proper introduction or a summary. So at times I would feel for the old man. I'm like,
you don't know what expectations.
But then guess what? He would respond. Sometimes he would even take like 6 hours or even a full day, but he would come back with a response. And you're like, so he was listening. No wonder they grew up old together. So that's how partnerships work.
Yep.
That there will always be a give and take. It shouldn't be about you. I know some of the orientation that we've received while growing up, most especially as men, has been bad. We've been told we are men.
A woman is supposed to do this.
We have been told a woman cannot speak back to you. We have been told you do what you want. We've been told so many. It's actually misleading. We've been misled. And then some of the social clubs that you people go to are also misleading you. Because there are these people who yap a lot, who speak a lot, okay, assuming the position of I know it all, yet at home they're doing something different.
Totally.
And they are misleading you. So be careful who you bring close and who you listen to.
That's very true. That's very true.
So partnerships, collaborations, relationships, for a marriage to work, trust me, those are very key ingredients. Listen.
Let's talk about decision making, because I think it's one of the things that that helps to concretize the teamwork and the partnership. If some decisions are made by an individual, or all decisions are made by an individual, I know of homes where all developmental matters are supposed to, they're not discussed. Decisions are taken without the awareness of the other. The other just gets to know that, oh, okay, he bought land here, he bought land there, and then one of them came to me and told me that since he's doing that, what he is actually telling me is, mind your business also, buy your lands without telling me, because that means the lands he's buying are actually not ours. They are his, because he does not even keep the land titles. He keeps them with his uncle. So I don't know when he buys them. I don't know where he gets the money. I don't know where the lands are. That means it's possible maybe he has another woman that he wants to possess these lands with. So actually she was coming to me. I think she wanted to make a decision to start buying land, and she had kept her money because she was like, I don't think I really belong to this home. I think I just got married to give birth to children, but we are not partners.
Again, in the same breath, I had an encounter with a man who said, this is the kind of woman I married. If she gets to know where the land title is, she will sell the land when I don't know.
Hey.
So I decided.
People go through a lot.
I decided
to take them away.
To keep them away. Then number two, the moment she gets to know that there is money, that I have money, she wants all that money spent. She will think of holidays. She will think of getaways.
Like she's fighting with the money.
She will think of shopping. She will think of everything that cannot allow me to plan for the family. So what I decided is, when I have the money, I invest it. So she just sees an investment to save me from arguing with her about creating more liabilities or spending,
instead of
investing
us
developing ourselves and the family.
Wow. So you see
you
that
hear
scenarios.
So it's like there is the other side
it
you're
all
talking
goes
about,
back into decision making,
and this side.
Yeah.
That this guy sat down and said, as a man,
I have to be wise.
The kind of woman I married, you all know, and I've come to terms that this is her. She's not willing to change. The first thing that we talked about, that when we walk into marriages or relationships, we should be able
to learn each other.
That's number one. But number two, at least cut some crap, because we walk in with everything from wherever that we were raised. But when we walk into this marriage, for us to make it work, we cut off certain things. I call it crap. Cut off the crap.
Whatever.
And allow yourself an opportunity to grow and have a happy marriage. Now, in this case, this woman walked into this marriage with all her crap and she wants to keep it.
She does not care.
You understand?
There's a word you usually call such people. They are insensitive, and then they never learn. They never learn. And the older they grow, you would think they would be learning. They would be more extravagant. the non-issues will always be the issues, and the issues will never be the issues.
I told you about a story still about a gentleman who told me that this is the woman I married. She even goes to the bank and forges my signature.
Wow, to get a loan.
I've told you.
Yeah, you told me that.
So just imagine, that's the woman you have in your house.
Wow.
So apart from just making the decisions, there is a responsibility that is upon you as a man.
Yeah.
That if I died today, where do I leave my children?
If
this is the kind of woman I married, where do I leave my children?
Yeah. I think that's a sane decision. That's a wise decision. And that's why I said we need maturity.
Yes.
Because maturity, if you are young and seek to please, you will continuously bring yourself problems. But if you are mature, you will know that I still need her as a wife, but I think I need to make better decisions in as far as development is concerned, because then we will never make any headway if I seek to do this.
Absolutely.
In the perfect world, the thing would have been you sit down and talk about these issues, pray about them, believe for bigger, invest when you can. That is in the ideal world, which not most people don't live in the ideal world.
I know.
It's just a small percentage of people that live in the ideal world.
It's the beauty of a marriage.
Yeah.
The beauty of a marriage
The
is
dynamics.
two human beings raised by two different human beings in two different cultures. That's why we don't marry from the same gondi. Tuwasa mu kika kye kimu.
Yeah, bloodline.
Hey. It's incest. They don't allow it, most especially here in Buganda. You know, it was wisdom that two people coming from two different backgrounds, raised by two different people, and etc. and etc. and etc. meet and build a home together. So will there be differences? As a master, and that's the beauty of that marriage. That whoever engineered it knew it, that there will be differences, there will be disagreements. Okay, there will be a few fights, but they all yield or build or become something good.
Beautiful.
Now, when do we achieve that beautiful thing? When we conspire, agree, work together, move together, regardless of our differences, holding hand by hand, choosing to conquer the impossible. You understand? That yes, once upon a time, I saw you, I saw the curves, I saw the beauty, and I was like, this woman one day will be my wife. I chased you, I conquered, got you into my house. Getting you into my house was the beginning of everything. Then I realized it wasn't just about the beauty. There is more about this beauty that I need to endure. How do I handle? And that's life.
The negotiation. The dance, the continuous dance. And that's the beauty of life.
That's the beauty.
That's the beauty of
that's
life.
The beauty.
Otherwise,
if you're in a relationship and probably a woman one day has screamed and insulted you, it's part of it. It is.
Insulting.
For right now, I don't want to deal with the extremes.
Yes.
I want to deal with the reality.
That those things happen.
They happen. It's possible
to
omuntu wanyiiga n'akuvuma. You understand? Yes.
Is what concerns me.
But then you have a duty to do, or you have a duty on your plate of handling that. That you've been insulted. How you respond.
What makes you
really matters. Because then it will take it to another level, or it will kill it. Your response. You would never marry an angel.
And it will never happen. Even if you left that one, even if you left him, you'll still bump into another human being that could possibly be worse. Yeah? And we're not saying, oh, you should stay there, oh, you should stay there. But grow up. And know that some of these things actually happen. Yeah.
So don't walk into this marriage full of ego,
expecting,
full of smanyivichi, because
it's about you.
That's why they called it a dating period, which has been totally misunderstood. Those are the times when at least you get to know a little bit about your partner. And in your conversations while you are dating, okay, apart from having a nice meal and going out to a romantic evening and enjoying a nice music band, have a discussion. The discussion should not be an interview, should not be an interrogation. It should be a discussion where you express yourself in a way that is respectful and you get to know what your partner thinks. Some people have gotten into marriage only to realize the woman doesn't want children. And they have
they never talked about it. They just
they
hang
ever.
out.
And you're like, but I want children. And she says, you can't spoil my body.
Wow.
I am a celebrity. It is this body that pays the bills. It is this body that has made me. So you're not going to spoil it. I need 5 years to be able to get a child.
But you ate and hung out.
But you had all the
dating
time.
period.
You understand?
Yeah.
So those discussions give you like a ground and
To
give
make
you
sober
a bit of
decisions.
an understanding of what to expect when you get in there. Because if she's not going to give you children in the first 5 years, she will mention it. And that could be a deal breaker for some people. You're like, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
There was a couple I talked to, and on their first date, the guy told the girl, if I'm to marry you, one, you first have to give me children, at least a child. And the girl said, oh, so you're taking a baby
Machine.
in your house. And the guy is like, no, you've not understood. Let me make it. No. This is the end of the date. And that was the end of it. The girl walked away and said no. But then you realize how he put it was wrong.
Yeah.
So, the yardstick
For this marriage, for
marriage
love.
is a child. So
So if I can't
if
have
I
one,
get in there and I fail to get a child, so you want to
I'll
first
be out.
at least prove myself that in Sobrokuzalo, your compase. You realize that
Yeah.
there are so many ways he would have handled that discussion without that kind of.
Approach. Yeah.
And then there was another one, it was about work. And some of these things, to be one. We talk about these things. We have these discussions, but people never understand where we're coming from. This scenario, again, they go on a date, and the guy says, if I'm to marry you, number one, you have to drop your work, your job. You have to stay home. And the woman asked, why? He said, I can take care of you. I don't need you to work. And from all my friends, they have only had trouble with working women.
Wrong reason.
You understand?
Yeah.
Said, so your reason is your friends.
Yeah.
So, ongerageranya na byaliwo mu bulamu bw'abali bw'oyita mikwano gyo, and you are taking me to be that. No, don't touch twala bubi, but the other day my friend did a DNA and found out one of the children is not his, and he believes that the wife was sleeping with the boss. Okay.
So that's how you're going to run your home.
Wow.
Replicating what is happening.
You understand?
everywhere else.
Reference wrong,
Yeah.
approach wrong, handling poor.
Wrong.
So how do you handle a person? For example, you are getting into it's a partnership really. While discussing key things, approach really matters. You don't start a relationship with demands. You don't start a relationship. At least get into their lives. For example, show them that you love children. You get the point?
Yeah.
They're not stupid. They'll receive that message, interpret it, understand it, and appreciate it.
That's the maturity
That's the
that
maturity.
you talked about.
And that's the chirungo into
And the
it.
maturity is not selfish. Yeah, maturity seeks to have a
Hilda,
working solution.
Trust me. Partnerships, relationships will always struggle and suffer. Okay? When it is about you. when it is
Egocentric.
about me.
Yeah.
And everything has been done for me.
It actually makes
And I
it
don't
toxic.
care how you feel.
Makes it toxic, makes it narcissistic. That means you are only able to take care
So
of yourself.
the compromise here does not make you weak. It actually makes you strong.
Yeah.
But the problem is, for how long do I have to compromise while you are not compromising? And that's what the problem is.
That's where the breakage comes.
Oshegera. Hey. I have so many examples that I can give endlessly about some of the issues I have handled and situations that I have encountered and what I have learned from others.
Wow. Let's talk about support. It being mutual in this partnership and teamwork, because there is the individuals coming into this marriage, the individuals that need to grow, the individuals that need to advance, the individuals. I don't know how to bring it in form of partnership, but I think support is something that is really crucial. For example, we grow and we change, we evolve our purpose, our mission, our vision, but you need someone to be able to support you, to be able to either buy into your vision, if not buy into your vision, even edit your vision, just support that I believe in what you do and I would love you to do it better, or I would love us to grow together. Someone said that in marriage, if you're not growing, you're actually dying.
That's true.
And you are both dying.
Absolutely.
It has to be a continuous individual growth where you support each other's dreams of evolvement and growth so that you can create a better foundation for lasting marriage.
When it comes to support, I believe it's about defining roles.
Yeah.
Begins by defining roles. When we get past the point where we define roles and we know what each one is doing, because the challenges that usually come between partners is when one feels burdened, when one feels is carrying
One side
is carrying more weight,
Yeah.
and the other party seems to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, whoever that feels like it's a burden will respond with disrespect.
You'll actually react.
Yes, the response or the reaction will be with disrespect to the other party. That's why at times what they call the alpha females, okay, she's the one who is paying the rent, she's the one who is buying the fuel, she's the one who bought the car,
The food.
she's the one who's paying the school fees, she's the one who's
buying the food.
What you will interpret as disrespect is when she comes back home late at night and cannot attend to certain things. For example, doing the dishes, mopping the house,
Cooking.
cooking and washing the clothes and etc. oyinza okwanga okukiraba nga disrespect. But then the issue here is she feels like, at what point do you support me as my man?
What is your contribution?
If I've taken your role of being the breadwinner and I'm paying all the bills, what is your role as a man? Just to sleep and impregnate me?
And that goes without being said.
So what I meant by, usually the response or the reaction is disrespectful. It can be interpreted as disrespectful, is because the other party feels like I've already taken over your roles. I'm doing my roles and your roles as well. Bako chonyambako. For example, there was this couple that said after doing all of that, even picking children from the school, he can't. He sits home, nawanika ebigere mu ntebe, nalaba TV.
And you have to plan for it.
Nenkomawo ne mukamulira juice, omukozi n'amuwa emmere n'alya, n'amala n'essowaani n'alimu jjijja waliridde, ate n'aba n'entondo mpitirivu n'okuyomba kungi. You get that?
I know.
So support at this point is, my friend or my partner is carrying this kind of weight. Let me also try to help with this. Why do we have to go out of the way to hire someone to pick children from the school who when you're home. Banabo.
Yeah.
Kendo bapicking
You're doing
kusomero.
nothing.
Right now you're jobless. Oli waka picking
This could
abana
save us
kusomero.
something, yes.
At least picking abana kusomero. Because you said you can't even pick your wife. Actually, there was one who said, I bought a car.
And he's
The only time
I remember that scenario.
you remember that?
Yeah.
I have to take a boda back home. He drives and goes to see his friends on my money, on my fuel. He even drinks beer on my money. While I'm taking a boda from work back home to make sure there's a meal to fix for him to come and eat.
Even runs after other women.
So the thing here is, when you talk about support, this is what it really means. Being respectful to each other.
Yeah.
Being respectful to each other has nothing to do with the size of your wallet. If indeed once upon time I was the breadwinner and right now I am jobless and I have an understanding wife who is willing to carry me, support me and help me for some time, the best I can do is to support them.
Yes. So that means support is very crucial.
And how do we support when we don't have money? I can also teach on that.
Because that's when most people pull back, they fold their hands and they just look on.
Number one, engage. Naturally, as men, when we fall short in certain areas, our ego goes through the roof. Okay? We feel bad that we can't provide. So in Tondo, and the ego flares. Now, at that point, tame it. That's how you're helping yourself. Tame your ego. Be in the moment. It's just for a time that you're jobless. Engage. What do I mean by engage? Yeah, honey, what time do you finish work? Right now that I'm not working, I can come and pick you.
Yeah.
That makes her feel
loved, cared for.
Exactly.
Supported. Yeah.
It doesn't have to go and pick this woman from work. For God's sake, you don't have a job. You're at home. Prioritize her.
Yeah.
Now, when you come back home, it doesn't hurt. I still can do dishes.
Yep.
At my house. After buying all the food I can. Nechina chichinzako kuoza chikopo. Obisuwani jendiriddeko. Mugambe nti, I know you're tired. Okale mukole naye.
Yeah.
Bomulaba nga agenda okwoza ebintu, you go and help her. Mugambe katusimule
mugamba nti ebiri wano kambi kusembereze.
That is the support that she really needs. She feels empowered when you are present at a time when she would have complained.
Yes.
Now, there are so many things that you can do to show your support without necessarily getting into your wallet. Most especially, I'm talking about that person who is, say, jobless or the business has not been well. Sibirunji, it's been 2 months, 3 months, you're struggling here and there. It is understandable. Biwawo. Okay?
Yeah.
Life is not a straight line. Stuff happens. It has happened. It has happened. Okay? But then, being present and engaging is what will help her. For example, discussions like, honey, I don't know when I will get a job. And this house costs at 2 million. Back then when I was working, it was easy. And I feel bad that you're carrying all of this. Can we look for a house of 1 million shillings to them when a million bidi? Do you know how she feels when you suggest that?
Yeah, she feels like
it's like you understand
what she's going through. Yes. And that is
but
support.
guess the versions that we receive. Most especially when we enter these counseling sessions. A woman is carrying your burden, but you're complaining about when I was working. At the time when I was doing this, Yaka could never go off. But right now
we're in darkness.
Tubeda munzikiza, and she does not care. Nakuleka munzikiza. You understand that? It is the complaining and lack of engagement and having sober decisions that causes the problem. Engage. Be present. Be there. And then the side of the women. When some good men do that, you take it for granted.
They forget about their duties.
Just forget about their duties. You become arrogant.
And too demanding. And entitled.
Nemutandika okulagira n'okuboggola. And that is also very painful to the side of men. Kubanga, you remind me of everything I have done for you without complaining. In scenarios where the man is incapacitated or is in a dilemma, a situation, a place of lack, talina.
Bad season.
You understand?
All of a sudden you're screaming.
That is really painful.
Yeah.
That's really painful.
That means you've chosen to forget
2 months or 3 months of you paying the bills already ongamba sina mugaso.
Oh, that's his lack of gratitude. You're just not grateful.
Emyezi esatu gyosasulidde mu bills otandise okungamba sina mugaso. Baako nga basajja banno noonya kyokola vaawo wano.
That's killing partnership, actually. If you even had any thread connecting you, now you're breaking it.
And then the other form of disrespect, kumunyumyako. All your friends know
how jobless he is.
All your workmates know. Your pastor. Omutambuza buli wamu onoomumazeemu.
All in the form of onoonya buyambi.
Kubuko. You're always complaining. You're having someone you're discussing your husband with.
That's so sad.
That is not only killing your husband, it's killing your marriage and you're valueless even to the people you're talking to.
Yeah. They also have their own issues.
Let me tell you, the beauty of a marriage is closing the door to everyone else that is not needed.
Yeah.
And between you and me, allowing God to be at the center of it and we deal with our issues. Obuzina bwaffe.
Ntubwemanyira.
If you must seek help, that's a different thing. Because then you'll go to someone professional and you'll go to someone professional who will handle it in a professional way. But all your friends,
I know, whenever you get a chance,
and you're talking about your man.
That's quite disrespectful.
You get me? So a partnership thrives and it works when there is mutual respect,
mutual loyalty, accepting through the bad and through the good, accepting each other.
You are present and you're engaging, and you're not complaining, and you're handling issues as they come. So when you talk about support, that's the best way. We define roles. If we are both working, we all have the money.
Yeah.
We define roles. Most issues are usually centered around money. We agree on how we're helping each other.
To do it,
in case there is a situation where one earns more, and most especially if it's a woman, learn to agree and understand that your woman earns more money than you, and that should not be a source of insecurity.
No.
And you shouldn't abuse that. But then learn to work with it and learn
and to be supportive.
So
whichever way,
mongeri yona nga ekiba kizze. I know that money will always be an issue in most marriages. When it comes to finances, that's a deep one. And most marriages struggle when it comes to that. But again, I'll take you to one thing. Where there is constant engagement, discussions and planning, vision casting. The place of a man in a home is leadership, really, leadership. And where you provide good leadership, a woman follows. A good woman will always follow. Because a good woman comes from God.
Yeah.
And only God gives good women. So when you don't have the good
the way
woman,
you're stressing it.
Yes, I'm stressing it because it's a rare.
Man, sometimes you find a man having a woman and you're like, God,
it's not everywhere.
What's coming next?
Yes.
You even feel bad for them.
Exactly.
You even feel bad for them.
Exactly.
I want us to end on the note of individualism, because I know that we don't have enough time. When people say, Nkola byange, I'm doing my
Then why are you in
things.
this marriage?
I know, but people mention those
Why are
things.
you?
I know we can't dive deep into it because
yes.
it's quite a huge one. Actually, it's a topic
And,
of its
and
own.
Hilda here, at the time when we were dating, she used to say that.
Yeah, a lot.
Nkola byange. And I would tell her, "Tukola byaffe." And the reason as to why I constantly said that was to get you from the place of I was raised under this kind of circumstances.
Exactly. Thinking
And
everyone
so
has to do their own things.
The build-up of my raising got me to a place where I don't depend on anyone. Nkola byange.
I
And
don't
I was
need
like,
help.
hey. Nawe gye wava nange nina gye nava. Ewaffe twakolanga byaffe. So we are going to do ebyaffe. Down the road.
And I would be like, I'm not even getting what
Yeah.
you're saying, because half the time it was a place where we were annoyed. I was annoyed, and so I would just look at you and just
Nkola
move on.
byange. And I don't want Nkola
But
byange.
I think it took me to trust, to fully fall in your arms,
Which is
knowing
also
that
another
I can
one.
trust you.
Which is also another.
Yeah.
That's why I use the word leadership.
Yeah.
That when you provide good leadership, people follow.
Yeah. And they trust.
They will follow. They
So
will really
they
follow.
easen up, they put down their walls,
And they follow.
let you in on their lives to see all the bad and
So
the good.
in the leadership, there is vision casting, vision sharing, empowerment, and believing in the people that you're
Yes,
leading,
supporting
giving them an
them.
opportunity, allowing them to express themselves,
Yeah.
listening to them, not being judgmental. It's a buffet
Yeah.
of so many things that
Providing accountability.
that I expected from us as men
Yeah.
in order to have a godly, good, sweet marriage. Once we do those things, we will enjoy marriage.
The woman will follow 150%. And very proud. I know that some of us have questions around this same topic, and I know some of us, some things have not gone well because we have not even, there are some people that have not been blessed to test some of the things that we are talking about, especially the good side of partnership and teamwork. For them, they have been at a tug of war for the longest time. Like it's a civil war going on in a marriage, like Kony and
I know.
Museveni.
Yeah.
You know, in the same country, you're fighting, but it found you. You got child number 1, child number 2. You know, before you could make any decision, child number 3. Before you could make another, you're na longo. And you are in a life where you're thinking, where is this boat going?
Yeah.
Where is this boat? Because it seems like we are on a free fall,
Yeah.
and we don't know where we are going to land. I must say, be willing to seek help. Be willing to seek help, and then join communities of people that are fostering the kind of life that you would want to see. For example, I was talking about Inspire Me initiative today when I put up some of those posts, and so many people have come to my inbox, most especially women, and they're saying, how do I get my man to join this thing? Because I was on my poster said, as in part of what your objective is to make sure that people can create happy and lasting marriages, and then to be wealthy, to be, you know, to be happy. People need that. So if you have a group of men that are saying, we are leaving no man behind, and you're saying, you know what, I'm a man who yearns for that kind of partnership, can you come join such a community of people? Can you sign up for whatever is it, either mentorship? Can you go for coaching? Can you go for counseling? Pray about it. Some of us are not even praying about our situations. One of the things that I think prayer does, and we are ending on this note, guys, is it also gives you the humility to know that you can't handle it on your own. You need God to intervene.
Absolutely.
So you take away everything that would have hindered this partnership, and so you allow the creation of the partnership.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
amazing. Amazing.
from us is, you know where to find us. Yeah? You know where to find us. You know how to log in to those events and listen to what you need to listen to. You have all the information about mentorship. You will never say that no one told you. Clearly, God has made this information available so that you do not die alone. Okay? Come out, get help, and collaborate with other people. From us to you is a bye.